It is a million degrees here in my studio today. It's not even that fun, but I'm gonna shoot some video today anyway because I wanted to share my new guitar with you guys. I got this a couple weeks ago. I held off from making a video until I kind of got situated with it a little bit. But let me tell you kind of the story, the backstory on this thing to start with. The first thing is that I used to play a Suhr Classic S a lot. I had it, I think I had ordered it and received it in 2002, and I had it up for a good 10, 11, 12 years, something like that. And then it had the buzz, feet, and intonation system, and I got kind of tired of dealing with that, and it needed a refret. It was pretty beat up, and I just decided maybe it was time to move on to other stuff. And that was a Strat with a humbucker in the bridge, a HSS Strat. It's kind of funny because the one that I see the most that reminds me of it is Pete Thorne's got one, and it looks like he had it for a long time too before he started playing his signature guitars. But literally that was the guitar I had. It was my main instrument for quite a while. I'd go between that and then my Les Paul if I needed to on gigs. In addition to the Classic S Suhr, I also had a Classic T, or a Telecaster style Suhr, and it was a beautiful guitar. I had ordered both of these custom made. They're built to my specs. The Classic T never really made me that happy. I maybe took it to 2 gigs in all the years that I had it, and at a certain point I sold it around the same time I sold the other one. And I had really been bummed because I really liked Telecasters, and I had spent a bunch of money on what I thought was going to be my ultimate Telecaster, and it wasn't. And then a student brought in this American, I don't remember the exact what it's called. It's a 60th anniversary Telecaster from 2011, 2012. He had bought it from someone who had done one of those storage wars. You know, they buy the contents of a storage locker at auction, and it was full of guitars. And so he had gotten a pretty good price on it. And essentially, it's an American Standard Telecaster, and I think it's got Tex-Mex pickups in it, and it's got a fancy neck plate. I'll show pictures of that stuff. But that guitar has been my favorite guitar for years. It's not beefy enough to do a lot of my rock gigs with, but it's really, it's just, you know, when you find an instrument and it's just what you like to play. And part of it is that the bridge pickup has got some beef to it too. It's got the telly brightness to a certain extent, but it's also got, maybe it's some low mids or something that makes it usable for almost every situation I'm in that isn't like super distorted. So I had always thought, wouldn't it be great if I could find a Stratocaster that was kind of like the same thing? And I had worked for a Fender dealer for years. I had the opportunity to buy and play a lot of Fender guitars, and I never really liked any of the American Standard ones until I came across this guitar. But I you know, once I started looking for one, it was all the American Professional and a lot of the newer versions, and I didn't really care for them. And every time I'd go shopping for a Strat, I would find something else, like a Paul Reed Smith I liked, or my blue Telecaster Deluxe, the Ventura one last year. So I've been kind of keeping an eye on the internet here and there, and Imperial Vintage Guitars, which is one of my favorite stores here in the city of Orange, had an American Standard from 2015 with a humbucker in the bridge. That was kind of my main thing. I've got my single Strat for all time. That's my Tokai, and we'll kind of take a look at that in a little bit too. But they had an HSS guitar, and I thought, you know what, it probably has a similar neck to my Telecaster and kind of a similar build aesthetic. So I drove up to Burbank and with one of my buddies, and we tried a bunch of guitars, and I tried that one, and it was great. I wasn't super in love with the pickups, but you know, that's always fixable. So I ended up taking that home. I traded some stuff I wasn't using for it, and the first thing we did was we swapped out the pickups between my McFeely 440 guitar and the new guitar, this guitar, which had Seymour Duncan Antiquity, the first style Antiquities, which are like the 50s, in the neck and middle. And then the bridge pickup is a Suhr DSV. And I didn't want to spend a ton of money on pickups this month. So I figured I will try this and see what happens. So my son's been playing the McFeely, so we traded electronics. The original pickups, it's got a Shawbucker, and I think they're Tim Shaw designed single coils. And I just did not like them. They're just kind of thin and small sounding. I might actually play a little bit of the McFeely guitar so you can kind of hear what the stock pickups sound like. It's not like a one-to-one comparison, but you kind of get a feel for it. But so far, I really like this. The original idea was I was going to play this summer, and then I was going to give my son back his electronics. And I really like the Antiquity 2 pickups, which are the ones that are in my Tokai. And the bridge pickup, the Sur in this guitar, can be a little shrill sometimes. So I was going to look for a different bridge humbucker. For the time being, though, I kind of like it. I've played... I had 5 gigs last week, and I used it on a rock gig. And it didn't entirely fit because all my sounds for that gig were based around the Telecaster and the Les Paul. So I played one set with it and then put it away. I did a couple of casual or pickup kind of rock and soul gigs, and I played it on one of those, and it was great. And I played it on a Calypso or Soca gig with steel drums and stuff. And the guys really liked it there, and I really felt comfortable playing it on that one too. It sounded great. What I've been playing it through is the Fractal FM3, and I've been using, I went from my favorite deluxe patch to my main clean sound lately has been a 59 Bassman preset that started with one of those Austin Buddy preset packs, and then I kind of copied the amp and the cabinet. It's like a stock cabinet. But I copied their amp preset and then kind of built my own preset around it. So this preset, I can't really share it because it came from them, but maybe I'll come up with a version of my own version of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to play a little bit of each of these guitars just to kind of compare. You kind of get a sense of what I like and what I don't like. But this guitar, the Tokai Strat with the Antiquity 1 pickups in it, a little bit of the McFeely, and my Telecaster, the one that I really wanted this to kind of match. And... let's kind of give a listen to what it sounds like. We'll do mostly the 59 Bassman sound, and then I've got some of the other sounds that I use. There's a Morgan AC20 I use a lot for the rock gigs, and I've also got a Marshall, the Silver Jubilee sound that I actually use. One of the things I did find is that a lot of those, this guitar's got a little bit less push or oomph than the other guitars, so some of them I kind of had to tweak. So each of those presets now has a sound for this guitar, the Marshall Jubilee and the Morgan AC20. My main clean sound lately has been this 59 Bassman. I really like it. I copied the amp out of a Austin Buddy preset pack and then put the rest of it together. But I really like it. Here you go. Here's my main lead sound for clean stuff. Still not in love with this bridge pickup. At some point I'll have to do something a little bit different. Here's with a little bit of Dynacomp and slapback echo. That one sounds a lot better with the Telecaster. Fuzz face. I have never been a fuzz person, but for some reason this past week the fuzz pedal's really been working for me. This preset also has like chorus and phaser sounds. This preset also has a lot of the other stuff I use, like chorus and phaser. Really, the only two other main sounds I use are this crunchy Marshall sound, which is like the Silver Jubilee. My original one, the one I based around the Telecaster and especially my Les Paul, was this version. This guitar, it just doesn't have something. I don't know, it's something in the mid-range or whatever, so I had to beef things up a little bit, EQ it a little bit differently. Here it is, basically a redesign for this. One sound that I use quite a bit that isn't either super crunchy or that the Bassman sound is this Morgan AC20, which is kind of like my moderately crunchy breaking up Vox thing. I usually use this one patch where it's really crunchy, and then I can adjust my volume knob. If you're digging this stuff, please feel free to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, all that happy stuff. I'm not putting videos out quite as frequently as I was, maybe 1 or 2 a month. But what I'm going to try and do is also start doing some of the lessons that you guys liked, and more gear demos and things like that. So keep an eye on this channel, and take a look below for all the links that we have in terms of FM3 presets, video lessons, and even shirts and mugs and all that happy junk.